So we've had the good fortune of being able to work with the IDN around a lot of the workforce issues that community mental health centers face. There are 10 community mental health centers in the state of New Hampshire, and we have right now a gap of over 200 vacancies across the state. At West Central Behavioral Health specifically, our clinical turnover rate is about 27%, and our current clinical vacancies of about 100 clinical people. We have 17 clinical vacancies. So this has been an ongoing issue. It didn't just happen overnight. Unfortunately, the Medicaid rates in the state of New Hampshire did not increase from 2006 until this year. When you have a business that runs where your revenue doesn't increase for years and years and years, and the fact that the bulk of your revenue is Medicaid dollars, we are the safety net for the state of New Hampshire, the community mental health centers, and so the work that we do is primarily serving those clients that wouldn't get appointments and services in lots of other areas. So we are primarily Medicaid reimbursed, and those rates didn't go up until this year. This year, the commissioner and the governor finally understood the fact that these community mental health centers are not going to run on air, and so there was an increase in the rates this year. I say this year, fiscal year 2019, for some services. It was not an across-the-board raise, but it was an increase in the Medicaid rates for the first time since 2006. When you don't have an increase in revenue, our centers often were unable to give annual raises for over 8 years. There were at times, depending on the annual revenue, there were times where people could get bonuses. Because at the end of a year, if you had cash in the bank, you'd know that you could give people bonuses. But if you didn't have cash in the bank, then you weren't able to do that. When your revenue doesn't go up year over year over year, how do you provide staff with raises when there's no way to increase your revenue? So that's stagnant. And on occasion, maybe you found a different revenue source that year, or maybe you found a grant, or maybe you did something to do something to be able to increase your revenue because the Medicaid rates were not going up. So given that, we were elated when the IDN came up with some workforce dollars that really made a significant difference to us at the community mental health centers. So some of the things that we applied for and we received to help us with retention were some scholarships. We gave 5 scholarships to our clinical staff, but with those scholarships, we had 3 $5,000 scholarships and 2 $7,500 scholarships. One of the burdens of people going into the profession is the fact that they often have large school loans. So these are folks that are master's prepared, making maybe $45,000 a year with $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in student loans. So these scholarships made a big difference to these folks, and with that came a 2-year commitment to the agency. That's big. That's big when you can bank on the fact that somebody's going to be there at least for an additional 2 years and try to reduce that turnover rate. So that had a significant impact, and people have to tell you we're very, very pleased. And they felt like they were at least recognized for the hard work that they do. So that was one thing. We also were able to use the money for sign-on bonuses. And so when you think about recruiting, why us? Why would you come to us versus any other agency? And right now we have a lot of competition out there, as you can imagine, for social workers, for case managers. While all of these things of integrated care is wonderful, it really does well for the clients, everybody's competing for the same people. We're all hiring social workers and case managers everywhere. So there's competition everywhere around us. And so why come to one agency versus another? So these sign-on bonuses really did help us to recruit folks. We were able to give 15 sign-on bonuses. We only had, and with that came a 2-year commitment to stay with the agency. Of those 15, we only had 2 people that left and paid us back. That was the deal. So of 15, only 2 left within that first year. And so that really made a big difference. We also provided some retention bonuses. We had a really important program that we were working on for our child program. It's called the MATCH program, and it's a modular therapeutic program for children. It's a great model. Harvard College folks that work there do the training on it, and we rolled it out across the state in the community mental health centers. And so we had 5 people that we had doing training. And the training is 18 months long. So it's a big commitment. And we were like, well, if we don't get these 5 people through this training, we're going to lose the whole program. So we incentivized those people to stay with us for the duration of that training and to train future people so that we could make this program roll out. If we lost those 5 people in the middle of that 2-year training, then the whole program falls apart. We were able to do that when I can tell you without the IDN dollars, we would not have been able to do that. We were able to provide some supervision dollars. Interns, as you well know, are wonderful, and we want to have them because they might come to work at your agency, social work interns or master prepared mental health therapists. You hope to do internships to have people work at your center maybe when they get done doing their internship, but it's not always the case. And it's hard work to supervise interns. So it really helped us to incentivize the supervisors to make sure they continued that work, and so we've been doing that. We also hired some peer support folks. We have a program called Common Ground, which really requires us to hire peer supports, and our ACT teams require us to have peer supports. And so being able to incentivize that and bring on some more peers really helps the quality of our programs. We were also able to, and most of you use Indeed for your recruiting. It's like the largest recruiting agency probably in the country right now. And for $1,000 a month, we were able to bump our positions to the top of the list for a while, and it made a significant difference. We actually did see an increase in the amount of resumes that we received, and it was $1,000 a month. So that helped us improve our recruitment. And then we also had referral bonuses, of which we had 2 internal referral bonuses where we were able to incentivize our own staff to make referrals to us. So all of that has made a significant impact on our recruiting. We hope to, and I know there's workforce dollars out there again. And for these community mental health centers that have never had the ability to spend this kind of money in that manner, it's made a significant difference to our community mental health center. So thank you to the IDN, and it really has made an impact in the shortage of people in the area. So that's our story.